Do y'all think that Chris Brown has been going harder than usual as of late to sell records?
Any more than before?
Yes.
I think the rollout with the documentary and everything was a little bit more than he's done in the past.
I'm talking about the documentary.
Interview-wise, though, I don't think he's done too much.
Coupled with the Instagram posts telling fans exactly how and where to listen to or stream or download the album, right? That was peculiar.
That was weird.
That was
specific music digestion instructions.
Yeah, that was different. And then the other day, even before projections came out, no, after projections came out, then he beefed about how they counted him, even though he dropped on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little peculiar too, that he dropped on a Tuesday. I'm surprised somebody in his team didn't tell him how that would factor into the cycle in which Nielsen records.
Yeah,
did he put it through RCA, this one?
Yes.
Yeah, it is pretty odd.
And I have more questions about that too. But even before the projections, he had put out another Instagram post that said, he wanted all of us to do math with him. And he said, if such and such equals...
Wait, is that how he asked it? Let's all do math together?
He ended it that way. He started with, he was doing a breakdown. He was saying, if one album is 1,500 listens and 1,500, then y'all do the math. I've got a billion streams on this project. So if that's how they are doing the music consumption, then y'all divvy it up and tell me what's what. So, I mean, even before he did that, though, I was saying in my head, watching him, that, damn, it seems he's going harder than ever now to try to get some type of fair return for his talent level. Only this time. I didn't see that with the Royalty album. I didn't see that with the album before that.
Well, I mean, it could go right back to how much work he put. It's 40 fucking songs. He did a whole documentary.
Which leads...
I think he may want some credit this time. He didn't just put an album out.
Yeah,
well, that's...
Clearly he put out 45 songs to boost the streams.
Which goes back to my point. If you put 45 songs out, you're doing it to boost the streams. And if you're trying to boost the streams... It seems this time more so than ever, there's a concentrated effort on how the numbers look.
I wonder what the fucking budget for that was.
And remember now,
Chris probably gets a lot for free.
But remember too now, he also just had RIAA rectify some old numbers for some of his older albums, and he's recently receiving plaques for that. So I do understand that. Now, my new question is mechanicals. Why would an act... How are labels counting this?
I don't know what it used to be 10 songs.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So if you put out 2 hours and 50 minutes of music, to his point, like he put in that Instagram post, that is 4 albums.
Yeah.
Is it counting as 4 albums even when it's 1?
I think it would depend how they open and close the budget. Because if they're closing a budget on a project, that makes it a project. Doesn't matter how many records it is.
Right.
If it was 4 separate budgets.
No.
I don't know if they're still doing
that
controlled composition shit anyway. But
I mean, how would it not be?
His budget must.
Are they going to open 4 more budgets?
Because I guess this conversation for me is less about how the label is viewing it and more about.
Oh, that's what you just asked.
No, well, yeah, but in terms of. Who is it that fucking Nielsen? Whoever records all of this shit. I'm talking about in terms of how they divvy it up. You can't put 3 hours of music out and it be considered 1 album. You cannot. Nowhere. I mean, the label, I don't give a fuck what budget, where, how they divvy it up, the math, it just don't add up.
I agree.
You can't.
But I mean, they've been breaking rules since Hove put out the Samsung shit. When he sold 1 million copies before anyone even heard the album. Like, they'll break rules for a certain artist.
Yeah, I think it's the wild
to change the status quo.
Now. I don't know if they would they change the rules for Chris?
Depends what Chris you're getting. Angry Chris or happy Chris.
I mean, I still don't know.
Double McGum Chris or...
You can't change up. The problem here is there's no way... They're trying to monetize time consumption now.
Right.
And I don't think we figured out how to yet. But the labels still have to account for it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking label shit. Am I getting lost in the
No.
verbiage?
A
Y'all
little
kind
bit.
of understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but we're music geeks.
Yeah, sure. I just want to know what the mixing budget was for this album. God damn.
I'm sure
Because
Chris gets
the
a lot of
guys,
favors.
the Manny Americans and all those guys, they get
But
paid.
to a label, why wouldn't a label consider this one project if they gave Chris a certain amount of money, closed it, he met his numbers, and now the rest is whatever his post deal has always been.
Okay. If that is true, how does it behoove the artist? What artist would ever hand in 4 albums at once? How does it count against his contract?
That's a good question. But
I think it's one album against his contract.
I doubt
Why?
that. It would at
No
least be 2. Yeah.
way.
I'm not explaining Chris's point of view here. I'm saying what a label would take
A
that as.
label's-
That was one project.
Oh,
A
all right.
label's
Project.
definitely going to try
Yeah,
to get
the,
you.
the label not. You chose to put 40 songs on
Yeah,
it. We
that's
didn't
your
tell you to
problem.
put
No.
40 songs on there.
And if you stayed under what you owed us, fuck it.
Yeah,
That
like-
was your problem.
Yeah, you put out 40 songs on one project, that's your prerogative.
We're saying 2 different things still.
But you can't say that, the label is supposed to count that as more than one album. No.
It's impossible to speculate because everything is negotiable. I'm sure that there was some meeting in the middle. It had to be. There's
I
no way
want to
you're
call
gonna do that.
somebody damn near.
Well, I don't know what their deal, the label between a streaming service, but like how they do with websites and ad time, usually you'll base that upon how long people stay on your website. You can
Right.
make more money.
Right.
I don't know if streaming does it that way. Because if I'm on Chris's page on Spotify and it's 40 fucking songs, I'm going to be there much longer than any other artist. So maybe I can have a higher
Well, that's true. with
percentage in what my streaming
I'm
is.
calling Berg only because he deals with that stuff at labels.
He produced on there too, didn't
He had 1 or 2 songs, I think. But him and A1 do a lot
A1
of shit
did,
together.
like-
A1 did every song.
Hey Berg, I'm on my podcast, but I have a quick question that I need. Maybe you can help me with. Chris Brown, 40 songs. No, 40 songs, right? 2 hours and 40 minutes worth of music. How does that work mechanically with a label? Can that be considered one album?
It's 2 albums.
But how do they do that?
I mean, now with the streaming shit, it don't really count like exactly like for your contract. So it ain't like he gave 2 efforts. But I mean, for the streaming, everything that's going on with the project, it's just like, you know how they usually try and cap you at 12? It counts as one album, but it's 2 discs. So it's like, it's still just one album contractually. But the cap for the shit, they used to try and keep it at 12. So he incurred the cost and like all the extra fuck shit that come along with it,
What?
Yeah.
I hope he got a lot of favors.
What? Woo. Oh, I would have never guessed any of this. Wait, what? Oh, all right.
I thought it was like 10 songs a pop each album. That was 5 albums he delivered at a time.
No, I'm trying to sit here and understand why an artist would do that. If I'm gonna give you 4 albums worth of music and it's not gonna count, I have to be incentivized another way. But you could tell me that later. Let me get back to this. I'll call you later. Fam.
That's crazy.
Hey, but all right, now that's further to my original point though. Now more than ever, it seems he is gunning for that respect that his talent level deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We all have said it. We all have said, and I didn't even know we were having a Chris Brown conversation. We kind of just walked into this.
Well,
But we all have said Chris Brown don't sell the records that he should because his talent level is up there with the
Yeah.
best of them in the universe.
But, which I've said on this podcast, similar to the Nicki thing, my issue with Chris is Chris could have been Michael Jackson, but he wanted to be Bobby Brown. Like, he did a lot of things along the way that kept him from being a superstar, like up there with them.
Fam,
And
he
I
put-
think this is something new. No artist has done. It pushes the needle a little bit. It's odd. I think it's a superstar move to do. So I appreciate, because I don't think doing a mixtape with Tyler.
Wait, you think this is a superstar move?
it's a new thing.
Nah.
He made a 45 track album, and 43 of them
I'll
are
tell
great.
you what superstars don't do is make crazy decisions like
Hey, yeah, you know what? I just had this kind of...
Superstars don't push the needle and do things that are
That's not
innovative.
pushing the needle.
Name me any other superstar that would do it.
It's not happening.
Well, I mean, that's superstars are separated from each other. That's what makes them superstars. Not everyone does the same thing. That'd be insane. They would just be a bunch of
The
clones.
only time that's ever happened in my recollection is when people do.
You guys have proved my point more. No one's done it.
No, like bootleg tapes or something like that, where it's no cost to the artist because who gives a fuck? These are demos. We're not mixing them. We're not doing anything. These are just whatever live recordings.
I think
and bootlegs.
mixtapes. I think artists have done mixtapes like that.
I think,
and I still don't think that I've seen 40-something songs on a mixtape.
I think
but
in this conversation we've kind of mistakenly, answered the question that I was originally asking. We all agree Chris Brown's talent level is superstar.
Absolutely.
Superstar
absolutely.
level. And it's a fact that he does not sell the records that the other superstars do.
Yes.
So with all of these new ways to cheat the system, if I'm Chris Brown and I want that respect, maybe it will incur all the costs and go for it while this streaming loophole exists. Because they are going to fix it.
Yeah.
They are going to fix it.
It's definitely a gamble, and it might work out. Who knows? We'll see.
Rihanna would never, Rory.
Well,
Beyonce would never. Fuck,
I'm
all
not
of these
saying
superstars would never because the
superstars
music
are different.
is worth
That's
too
what makes
much.
them superstars.
No, but they all have that superstar thing in common. They move like fucking superstars. Right.
Oh,
They
no,
know
that's
the
what I was
value.
saying. That's why I was saying Chris, to me, has always had the talent to be that, but never did it. He always did mixtapes with Tyga instead of pushing himself to the level that Beyonce or Rihanna has done.
And that's no disrespect to Tyga because that tape was kind of hard. I didn't expect it to be hard, but it was harder than I thought it would be. It was.
I just come on. So
I think that's what
Michael
makes
Jackson
that not a
isn't doing
superstar move to me is that 45 song albums are for diehards only. I don't think the casual. I'm a Chris Brown fan, but I'm only a casual Chris Brown fan. I haven't listened to the album yet because I don't want to listen to 45 songs of Chris Brown.
That shit is great.
Maybe.
Man,
it may be,
great.
but that's too much for me to digest. And I think that a Fence fan like myself is probably going to lean to. I'm just no.
But that's part of the trick. That is part of the trick. In putting 45 songs on an album, you're going to have to listen to all of that shit even to figure out what the fuck you like. And it's counting. It's counting. For somebody who was trying to manipulate the numbers with streams, it's counting. I listen to all of them songs that I don't like mad times. I like some of them now. Okay. Now I like some of them. It worked. It did. But now off of Chris Brown, I didn't want to talk about Chris Brown. Just congrats. Round of applause, Chris Brown, man.
No doubt.
Great fucking album.